Okay,
Thank
we're
you.
coming down the home stretch, candidates. We have only a few minutes left, so I'll ask for crisp answers. Mr. Schumer, earlier this year you introduced a bill called the Cannabis Administration and Opportunity
Yes.
Act that would remove cannabis from the Controlled Substances Act, empower states to create their own cannabis laws, and expunge criminal records of those with low-level offenses. The bill also requires more federal research on the impact of cannabis on health and public safety. But shouldn't that research happen before sweeping legislation is approved?
Well, as you know, many states have approved legalization of cannabis, decriminalization of cannabis, so it's upon us. Doing the research is very, very important to do. But we are getting very close. I am working in a bipartisan way with Democrats and Republicans to take the Safe Banking Act, which allows financial institutions to involve themselves in cannabis companies and lend money to them. But it also does some things for justice, such as expunging a record. You know, when a 15-year-old kid was caught with a small amount of marijuana and got a sentence that was the same as having a whole lot of heroin and selling it, his life was ruined. So expunging the records is important, and we're getting closer. We may be able to get something done rather soon. I'm working with a bunch of Republican senators, a bunch of Democratic senators to get something passed.
Mr. Pinion, based on your years working at a health center in the South Bronx, I wonder if you believe marijuana should be removed from the Controlled Substances Act.
Look, I think we need to deal with the fact that we're not talking about your mom and dad's dope. We're talking about THC levels that have been off the charts. I think you bring up a good point. The notion that we would release it on the citizenry at the federal level before we've actually done the due diligence seems reckless and irresponsible. Just my thoughts. So, yes, I think that there has to be something done. I think particularly in light of the fentanyl crisis that Chuck Schumer invited here, we now have people that are trying to smoke marijuana and are going to drop dead. We have firemen that walk into buildings to put out the flames, as they did in Chautauqua County, and come out and are dropping from fentanyl intoxication. So there are unintended consequences. There's a thread that runneth in between all of this, from the border crisis to even this conversation about marijuana, because Chuck Schumer has not taken the business of securing our border, and people are dying. And so I think in the event that we're going to go down this path at the federal level, we should do so in a manner that recognizes that these decisions have dire consequences and that people are actually dying in some cases because of them.